What's good, Cowboys Nation? I know you already see the title, so we got to talk about it. I just got to let everyone know beforehand this is not a video intended to trash KaVontae Turpin or to um, paint him in a negative light. All we're going to do is talk about the facts, talk about what happened, and at the end of the day, we need to look at it, look at the situation, and take it seriously. Not because, whether you believe the charges or the situation was a big deal or not, but it doesn't really matter how we feel. Because at the end of the day, we know the NFL. This issue can be blown out of proportion and can cause some problems down the road. So let's talk about it. So, Cowboys Nation, what happens when one of your most explosive players gets arrested right before camp? Well, as you all know, KaVontae Turpin was booked this weekend. They mugshot him for gun, weed, and now we're in this weird circumstance with the NFL, the Cowboys, Brian Schottenheimer, uh, and like I said, this isn't just a distraction. This could be potentially an issue down the road. But again, let's just start off by setting the scene. So while most of the NFL is gearing for training camp, the Cowboys woke up to the headlines of KaVontae Turpin being arrested in Allen, Texas. It was reported that Turpin was arrested on two misdemeanors: possession of marijuana and unlawful carrying of a weapon. And remember, we're just a few weeks away from training camp. And just to put the facts out there again, this isn't Turpin's first legal issue. He was dismissed from TCU in 2018 for an assault. He pled guilty to assault, and that ended in him getting probation. So even though I know personally two misdemeanors aren't something that we should be concerned about. But again, we don't know what's going to happen. I hope the NFL doesn't get involved and make things bigger than they should be just because he's a Dallas Cowboy. Remember, something similar happened to Zeke. I'm not saying it's the same um, situation. I'm not saying it's the same circumstances. But remember, when Zeke was under hot water, NFL stepped in. They suspended him. Basically, he was suspended for 6 games because of that, or almost half the season. And personally, I believe Turpin is a key to this offense being dynamic. And again, if it was just a regular everyday team, nobody would care about this. This would just be move on. But it's the Dallas Cowboys. So in most circumstances, we need to understand that this thing that could be something small can be blown out of proportion, which we definitely don't want to happen. So again, here are the facts. KaVontae Turpin was arrested July 5th in Allen, Texas. He was booked in Collin County Jail, and he was released next day on a $1,500 bond. The charges were less than 2 ounces of marijuana plus unlawfully carrying a firearm. Again, both misdemeanors under Texas law. And it was also reported that he was clocked doing 97 miles per hour in a 70 miles per hour zone. And officers found a 9 millimeter pistol in plain view in the back seat and weed in the center console. So again, we could ask the question: what's the big deal? Shouldn't be a big deal. But like I already told you, we can't pretend for a second that a possible suspension couldn't be in the works. Or even say Brian Schottenheimer says, Turpin, just to make sure the league doesn't get involved, we're going to suspend you for one game or maybe a half just to guarantee that you're good going forward. And we have to remember that Turpin isn't just a return specialist. He's an all pro weapon. In 2014, he led the NFL with 33.5 yard kickoff return average, scored a 99-yard kick return touchdown, and became the first Cowboy to score via punt return, kick return, and as a receiver all in one season. He also caught a career high 31 passes for 420 yards and received two touchdown passes, earning first team All Pro honors and his second ever Pro Bowl. In March, Cowboys rewarded him with a 3-year, $18 million extension, making him the highest paid special teams player in the league. Cowboys put their money where their mouth is. They say, we value you, Turpin, and going forward, we want to use you. And I believe Schottenheimer has a plan to really put Turpin into high drive going into his first season as a head coach. And for me, I believe, simply put, Turpin is Schottenheimer's secret weapon. He's explosive, unpredictable, and game changing. So let's talk a bit about the offense going forward, because in 2024, obviously things looked flat. A lot of fans, and I was included, we criticized the lack of creativity. And I believe in order for Schottenheimer to get this job going into 2025, he said, I'm going to expand this offense. That's what he told to that's what he told the Joneses. There's going to be more gadget plays, more conversions, and first and foremost, the most important thing, speed. And I believe Turpin is going to be central to that vision of really putting pressure on the offenses or on defenses. With Turpin, I believe we're going to see more of those jet sweeps, more of those motion screens, more of the misdirection. And even you might even see him in the backfield more than we did last year or even in general. And at the end of the day, defenses are going to be forced to respect his speed. But what happens without him? What are we going to do? Does that hurt the playbook? Is the playbook being developed to really use Turpin as a threat? We don't know. But if we lose him, I don't want that to turn the offense on its head as well. I get it. We got CD, we got George Pickens. In the middle of the field, we don't really know who's going to be that third option. I don't believe it's going to be Tolbert. Out the gate, it's going to be Tolbert. But I really believe, especially if Turpin's getting those big plays, they're going to keep using him over and over and over again. And let's say, for example, Turpin isn't out there. Even as a punt returner, he was part of that offense. Punt returner, kick returner, he scored. Who's going to be his backup if he's not there? Is it going to be, well, I don't want to say his backup, but I believe CeeDee Lamb is going to get more of those touches, especially in the slot, even though he plays a lot in the slot as well. But who's going to get those Turpin reps? Do you believe it's going to be Jalen Cropper? I think he's unproven. I think somebody that would be put into that situation if anything were to happen to Turpin would be Jadon Blue. Just as fast, just as elusive, just as explosive. But somebody they might push as well just because they want to keep him on the roster is maybe a Deuce Vaughn. I wouldn't mind seeing Deuce Vaughn out as a wide receiver. Let's be more creative. I got to have a contingency plan. If things don't go well, Turpin's either suspended, injured, whatever, we need to have an idea of how to use these guys to get the best out of this team. So even with all that, like, I believe Schottenheimer especially has a ability to show himself, show his merit as a head coach. Not saying he's going to be on the hot seat, but how do you handle this situation with Turpin? Do you sit down with him and explain to him, like, bro, you can't be doing this. We want to win. We want certain guys on this roster. You can't be putting yourself in compromising situations that could hurt not only your career but this team. I know you want to be part of this team. Cowboys showed they want you by paying you money. But how does Schottenheimer handle this situation as his first major test? Because Schottenheimer said they want to change the culture. Of course, you gotta take the good with the bad, but you can definitely lose a team if they feel you're playing the favoritism card. So how do you discipline Turpin? Or do you just fine him, or do you suspend him? I don't know how they're gonna handle the situation, but this is gonna be a test for Schottenheimer, and we're gonna see how things play out. I don't like I said, I don't want to make it seem like this is bigger than what it really is. But we also got to understand that something, it could get blown out of proportion, because you know how the media is, you know how the NFL is. They can make things worse because it's the Dallas Cowboys. We get the spotlight. So let's talk about this player and drag it and drag it and drag it and kind of force the NFL to really get in. So that's all I really have to say on this subject, not going too deep. At the end of the day, I think for me, Turpin is going to be a key part of this high powered offense. And don't want to lose a guy like that. But at the end of the day, especially that first game against the Eagles, I want to be at full strength. I don't want any excuses or us putting ourselves in a situation to where now we can't play at our full strength because we had guys doing dumb things. I get it. It's two misdemeanors. Turpin shouldn't have been out there speeding like crazy in Allen, Texas. I heard a lot of things about Allen, Texas. I'm a Georgia boy. So we got places like Cobb County. Drive around Cobb County, they're saying you won't get pulled over. I promise you. I promise you. So, again, we're going to, one, see how the Cowboys handle the situation, see what Schottenheimer is going to do as a head coach, and just the real world impact of how this could impact our offense if for whatever reason Turpin's not there. But we just have to discuss it. So, Cowboys Nation, thank you again for watching this video. Don't forget to hit that like. If you want that real sports talk, remember, please also subscribe to the channel. I'm telling you, we trying to build this up. I love my Dallas Cowboys, and let's say it's gonna be an interesting season we got coming up. Again, my name is Meccha Mike. That is Meccha Mike for all the socials, and I'm out.